The following podcast contains subject matter that may not be appropriate for some viewers, including but not limited to mentions of rape and human trafficking. If this may be triggering for you, know that viewer discretion is advised. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to The Jar. So pull up a seat, take a bite, and get ready to dive into that brine for episode 2 of the Pickle Jar Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. My name is Ryan Sullivan.
And my name is Keaton Ashby.
So without further ado... Oh, this is unopened. Wait, I might need... Strong boy.
Oh, that was a good
So
pop.
So good.
Here,
All right.
you want it?
Yeah,
There
I'm
you
not...
go.
It's not quite pickle time yet, but...
The aroma's got to fill the room.
Alright, the lid is off, and...
Oh,
I'm very thirsty.
me too.
Alright, give a little ASMR pop there.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's especially... those pickles... Those pickles smell... Oh,
They're
they're
really
spicy.
buttery. They're really buttery.
Oh.
Here we go. Boom, ding it.
Alright. So, Keaton, it's been quite a while since we recorded a podcast.
It has been a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
For good reason.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course.
what? July 11th.
July 11th. Then the last time we recorded an episode, it was February
20th was when we uploaded. We recorded it on the 16th, if I remember.
All right. So away
time ago.
a bit ago. Yeah.
So, a couple reasons for this. Number one, when we first started recording our second podcast,
It's been lost.
it wasn't recording because we brought some friends into the studio, and we can call this the studio now. Also,
yeah.
brought some friends into the studio, and James was on soundboard, didn't record. Which no fault of his own, because he knows how to use his soundboard great. I know how to use mine. Not vice versa.
Yes. Understandable.
And then after that, we were going to do another podcast.
And then we were all locked away for a while.
Well, you were in Texas.
Well, oh yeah, that was right. I was in Texas. Yes. We're not there to being locked away yet. But anyway.
Well, we were locked away, but you were also in Texas.
Oh yeah, true. We were locked away.
Yeah. We were going to do one when you came back,
Yeah.
but we just never did.
Yeah.
Because
So I guess-
then I wasn't allowed to have anyone at my house, because at that point I could still go to work. But by the time you came back, I wasn't allowed to leave.
That is very sad. Yeah.
Happy Corona times, everybody.
Yes, happy Corona times. Which it looks like it did look like it was coming to an end.
It looked like it
And
for
then
a while.
people are now reporting new cases and stuff. Whether or not those are all accurate,
Well,
it's up. It's not our call, but
So I'm just going to say something right now. Everybody's getting information from different places. And one of the things that the president said, I'm not going to mention him because we're not going to get too political. One of the things that he said that people really jumped all over him for was that if we stopped testing, the cases would go down.
yeah,
Now, it would show we'd have less cases, which everybody knows that. I feel like that's what he intended, that it would look like we had less cases. But at the same time, yes, we're doing more testing now, so of course it's going to show we have more cases, but everybody's also being a lot less careful.
yeah. There's been a lot of stuff that has happened that has made people more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Less cautionary.
Well, yes, that in a way. Well, people are going out a lot more. Is basically what I was trying to say.
When's the last time you've been to a grocery store?
Today.
Today?
Yes.
Which one?
Walgreens.
Well, but that's not It's not a grocery store. That's
Get
convenience
your
store, pharmacy. At best.
Okay.
I'm talking like Winn-Dixie or Publix.
Okay, so
or
that
Walmart.
was yesterday. Yesterday, I went shopping to go get burgers and hot dogs for a cookout.
Was
last
it
night.
last night?
Yeah.
So, about what time?
I went around 3:30 or 4 to go get the.
That is not at
products.
nighttime. That's in the afternoon.
No, I'm talking about for the cookout that I had last night, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Were there a lot of people there?
Yes, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah. My dad went to Winn-Dixie today. There wasn't a single parking spot.
Yeah, it's
So,
bad.
He went to the little Publix, and
Can't even go there.
well, he was people were bumping into him,
Yeah,
not
I
wearing
know.
masks.
Oh man, that I don't want to get too annoying here, but I went to the little Publix because we have 2 Publixes where
well,
we live.
had 2 Publixes.
Yeah.
Sidetrack really quick. I'm gonna let you finish, but first, we had 2 Publixes on the island. If you don't live around us, and there's the big Publix and the little Publix. The big Publix is closed for renovations
Yes.
until September 2021.
But
So
such a
people are
shame.
going to the
little Publix, which is also known as the tourist Publix, because every tourist on this island is there. It's the worst place in the world you'll ever go. I got very frustrated when I was there because I was coming down an aisle, and on the aisles they have one-way lines and stuff where you go up and down the aisle. So I was going the correct way, and this old gentleman comes around the corner, like, like maybe like 2 miles per hour. He's coming.
Oh, with his lethal weapon,
oh,
shopping cart.
Oh yeah, he's slugging.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's
Just turn down the computer.
Where would I do that?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
All right. So he was slugging his way around the corner. He's coming down the aisle, and he's blocking up the whole thing. And he's moving like very slow. Like, how rude of him. Like, follow the arrows.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? The little Publix. You get so many tourists there because
Oh, yeah.
for those of you who don't live around us, we live in a very touristy
trap.
area.
Yes.
Florida, Marco is crazy for tourists, and especially now that a lot of places are shutting down again.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, Florida's really lenient."
And they're like, oh, look at this little place down here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's bad right now.
Especially so they're saying Miami is becoming the new hotspot. Like it's becoming the new New York. Say that 10 times fast. It's becoming the new New York really quickly. So all the people from Miami come over here every weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're hopping on the beaches. The beaches are packed. There's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like the 4th of July was canceled this year. There's no fireworks.
Oh yeah.
Like they shut the whole thing down. It was open till like 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The beach was open on July 4th, and that the whole weekend it was like that.
Wow.
And there's people regulating and stuff. There's police there, and the only way you could get in is if you're a resident in this area.
Right.
That was the only way you could get in.
Well, so you could get in on Residence Beach if you had the Residence Beach
yes,
pass.
you can get in there.
And also if you lived in one of the towers on the beach. Mm-hmm. Right. Because Cassie went to the beach on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you could probably sneak in.
yeah.
Pretty well.
Well, no. She didn't sneak in.
No,
One
she's
of her,
a resident here, so it doesn't
well,
matter.
we don't have a Residence Beach pass because we're not paying that much money. It's a lot of money to get that, and not worth it for how often I go to the beach.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, you do get discounts with it at some places around here, but that's about it. There's no use to it.
yeah.
But as you were saying, yes, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Cassie went to the beach on 4th of July because her friend Mary lives in the tower, one of the towers on the south end. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna say which one, but
Yeah.
breach of privacy.
Yeah.
So like if Wesley was here, we could have gone to the beach.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
I wouldn't want to.
I
wouldn't want to.
I have no clue why you wouldn't want to go to the beach.
I don't want to go to the beach with you and Wesley.
It's just beyond me. I have I have no clue why.
Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, playing off of your fears, sharks and stuff.
Just the ocean itself is bad.
Keaton
In a very wholly popular book, it says that the ocean is bad. I'm not going to say what book that is, but you can imagine.
In a very wholly popular book.
Yes.
The Book of Mormon?
No, not the Book of Mormon. Why would it be the Book of Mormon? That's not that popular. I'm talking about the first book that's ever been printed on the printing press.
The Book of Mormon won like 9 Tony Awards, so it's very popular. It's funny too.
It's a great child read.
No,
family book.
No, but so yeah, Keaton has a fear of the ocean, not water, but the ocean in general. So that's
It's a
good
scary
reason.
place.
Also, number 2, sand. It's rough.
I hate sand.
It's rough.
It's so bad. It gets everywhere.
It's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, honestly.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah,
on
that sand is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sand gets really bad. Mm-hmm. And also, the worst part is if you lay your towel down on the beach and you're laying down on it, and the wind picks up a little bit, the sand gets on your towel. And then you got sand all over you. You open a water bottle, the sand gets in the water bottle. You're crunching on your water here. It's not good.
If you go to the beach often, I have a suggestion for you. Maybe you haven't realized this yet.
Don't go.
Get one of those cans of like compressed air.
Oh.
Yeah, get one of those
like
cans
this.
of compressed air. I wouldn't keep it in your car because it might get too hot and like
it might
blow
explode.
up.
Well, down here you'd have to worry about that.
Yeah. Keep it in your cooler. Keep it in your beach cooler. No, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one right now over there.
Me
I'm
too.
not sure. I'm trying to see if from here it says keep it.
I think it might
cool,
be
dry
like
place.
keep it in a
But
room temperature.
that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Get yourself one of those cans of Dust Off or whatever, which could be purchased at Marco Off Supply, to name a few places.
Or bring an air compressor with you.
And so that you can clean the sand out of your charger slot in your phone
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that stuff.
That's
because it's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, it does.
So, the final reason why I don't like going to the beach, especially with you and Wesley.
Yes.
Quick story for all you listening at home or on your way to work today. I was drowned. I was
accidentally.
An attempted manslaughter. There was an attempt on my life by Keaton and Wesley. Like what, 2 years ago now? I don't have a watch. I don't know why I'm looking at my wrist.
It's been like 3. It's been a long time ago.
Okay.
We were horse playing around. You know how we do. We were messing around, tackling each other and stuff. And Ryan just so happened got caught in the middle of it. And yeah,
somehow got caught in the middle of it.
I don't know how, but you
I was
snuck into the middle.
I
of
was
it.
running away. I was trying to run in waist to chest deep water.
When you see a 6'4", 260-pound man running at you, what are you gonna do? You know,
try and run away.
Well,
but,
I want to run away.
So
from that.
let's get one thing straight. Especially at this time, I was not athletic in any way, shape, or form. I was carrying around an extra 100 pounds with me, since the last podcast, I think I've lost 45
Oh yeah,
pounds.
you've reached your goal.
Yeah, no,
you've blown up your goal.
Technically, I rechecked, and now I've lost 99 pounds. But like a net loss of at least like 112.
Oh yeah.
But my couple of cheat days that I threw in kind of threw me for a loop. I'm back on it for sure now.
Bottomless root beer floats.
We'll tell that later, if we so choose. Maybe we'll keep that a secret for people at home. But yeah, no, I've lost 100 pounds since August now, so that's cool. But I would. Getting back to the story, I was much less athletic back in those days.
Higher buoyancy is what he's trying to say.
I did have a higher buoyancy, but also I couldn't breathe as much because I got a lot more work to do to move my arms, so I get winded a lot easier.
True.
So me going underneath the water while breathing in and then getting water into my lungs, which I was still coughing up salt water for like the next 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm screaming no and like, hey, let me up. It's very difficult for me to get air into my lungs right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let me up. It's like I feel like I'm drowning, and then I start coughing and then stop responding.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened after that, to be honest.
Long story short, me and Wesley drowned Ryan on the beach.
And
We went a little too far.
then I wasn't allowed to go to the beach with them for a while.
Yeah.
My mom said it's like, you're not allowed to go to the beach with Keaton and Wesley.
Yeah.
So, thing is, now I'm allowed to. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Because who's going to tell me otherwise?
Because who wants to go to the beach anymore these days?
Well, yeah. Miamians
Yeah.
getting us the beer disease.
Yes.
You know, I got another funny story about what we were going to do for our last podcast when you came back from Texas. I don't know if I told you this or not. Because I texted you.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, what? This was probably St. Patrick's Day. So, in Florida, this was like a day or two after the restaurants all shut down.
Yeah.
Or no. On St. Patrick's Day was when the bars shut down.
Mm-hmm.
When you weren't allowed to, when I think bars went down to 50% capacity, and then later that night, it was no bars, restaurants 50% capacity.
Cannot serve alcohol.
Yeah. Which St. Patrick's Day of all days, right?
I know.
But
It's a good drinking excuse.
so this was around then. This was around the time the restaurants were first closing down, and my cousin had the virus, which she never got tested, but she did a Skype interview with her doctor, and they said, now we can't test you, but you have all the symptoms, and you have symptoms that are extremely rare with the flu. So much more likely than not, you have it. And this was back when there were less than 100,000 cases in the U.S. So knowing someone that had corona was a big thing. And it's just like, and I call Keaton up while he's in Texas. It's like, when you get back, we have to do a podcast. It's like, I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna interview. I'm gonna interview my cousin. It's like maybe we could call up one of the city councilors and call them in for an interview, see what they think about shutting down the restaurants and all that. And then like, now knowing someone that has corona isn't a big deal.
No, it's not. It's widely spread now.
Yeah, how many people in America have it? Like what, 3 million now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere around there.
Something around like 3 million. It's insane. But yeah, it got pretty wild.
That's 1% of the entire population of the U.S.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When it used to be 0.01. It's officially the 7th highest killer in the world in 2020 now.
Oh.
It's like 30,000 deaths less than suicide, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, well, never mind. I wasn't going to say
What?
I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Well, when the government wants to put something now, just drops it out there. But we won't go into that.
I don't know. The world's a crazy place.
Yes. Especially with everything that just came out.
I know,
in the
right?
past couple of days.
So, do we want to get a little bit conspiracy?
Well, I mean, we could probably talk about the most recent thing which just came out yesterday.
Wayfair?
Yes, Wayfair.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to mention the name so that we can just push it on in there.
Would you like to buy... listen here. This is a beautiful cabinet right here, It's a great cabinet. It's got a name of a missing child somewhere in America.
This cabinet's name is Bobby.
Yeah.
He went missing 12 months ago.
Yeah.
This cabinet worth, at best, $700.
Yeah.
Give or take. This is a $12,000 cabinet right here.
Yeah, basically.
Comes with a free child. We're not selling children. We're just giving away for free.
It's a combo deal we got going on right now. You buy a cabinet, child comes along with it.
So, to explain a little bit about this, a few days ago, was it a few days ago or was it like
I think it was. Well,
I don't know.
it was a day and a half ago.
A few days ago, give or take,
Yeah.
a post on a very popular subreddit with well over 1 million followers, r/conspiracies. You may have heard of it. A Reddit user.
Oh, someone
posted-
just reposted on that.
Huh?
It came on Twitter.
Oh,
like
it
people
started on
start
Twitter?
the hashtag Wayfair is what started on Twitter, and that's what blew this thing all up.
So from a news article that I read, which I don't know how much we can trust it because news and
News
stuff.
these days.
Yeah. Get a load of this guy. What's the deal with the news media and them lying all the time? No, but, so what I read was it started with a Reddit user who posted something about, so I was doing some research. I was looking into buying some cabinets, and I was wondering, why are these cabinets so expensive? And there's no reason listed why they're so expensive. So it's like, she said in an interview over email to, I think it was Newsweek, don't quote me on that did this this interview. She said, it's like, I wasn't saying that this is for sure thing they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it seems very suspicious that A, Wayfair is selling cabinets for prices that many would think are much too high for what they're actually selling. Wayfair claims otherwise. And there's several different cabinets. They're all like essentially the same cabinet.
Oh yeah, they're all the same. It's the same photo.
Yeah,
but
each listing has the name of a child who has gone missing.
Oh yeah,
within the past like few years to months
yeah.
or so. So what people are assuming this means is that they're involved in a human trafficking scandal.
Which another thing is that for all of these things with different names on it, they all say one in stock. There's only one in stock of each of these cabinets that essentially look the same but with different names.
And there's this Russian reverse search engine that people were talking about.
Oh yeah, there's this whole thing where this is how you apparently, according to some people, this is how you actually put in confirmation that you are a person willing to buy a child off of this website. Is you have to go through all this like Russian like crap and stuff. You have to type in all this like password and stuff, so people know that you are in on the trafficking ring and pedophile ring that's going on, so you can purchase your child at the small price of $17,000.
No. What I'm talking about is the reverse image search thing, where if you reverse engineer the search in some way, I don't know how it works. I'm good with computers, but like I'm good compared to a boomer with the computer. Like not good compared to someone who could hack into the CIA mainframe or something like that. So I'm
the equivalent to a boomer with a computer.
I do my research, but not enough for you to be able to trust everything I say, because I'm not looking at sources right now. But from what I saw, you reverse search the image and then it shows up with a picture of the kid who went missing with their name. And that's why it's like, now the thing is, don't want to completely accuse Wayfair of this thing, because of course nothing is
innocent
confirmed
until proven guilty.
Right. But of course,
it
seems nefarious.
Yeah, it raises some questions, especially with everything that came out and stuff. It's just, what was it, a week ago now? Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested.
P. Diddy released his book.
Oh yeah. I didn't hear much about P. Diddy's book.
The Adrenochrome Witch, I think it's called. It was on Barnes and Nobles for the small price of $100, and it was 7 pages long, and that was it. Yeah,
jeez,
7 pages for $100.
So Ghislaine Maxwell, she's in the news a lot recently. She was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. Wasn't exactly an employee, but the multiple accusers have corroborated this and said that she was the chief, I don't know.
The Adrenochrome Witch.
She was the chief recruiter for Jeffrey Epstein's pyramid scheme of child sex trafficking.
Yes.
Because she would refer a couple people like, hey, you want to make $300 giving this old guy massages? It's like, okay, miss. And then it's like you get more friends, and then we'll give you $300 for each girl you get in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
which was
lo and behold,
wasn't that in Palm Beach?
That was in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, that was not that far from. Oh man.
Well,
it's kind of close.
So, I highly recommend, if those of you listening have not seen it already, I recommend the docuseries on Netflix about Jeffrey Epstein. It's
called, what is it called? Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich?
Filthy Rich, yeah.
Be advised, if you are a small child and you do not want to see a lot of things, do not watch it. It's very detailed.
Viewer discretion is advised. I should probably put a viewer discretion thing in front of this podcast, because we're talking about some heavy stuff now. So, Ryan, remember to do that in post. Okay, anyway.
There we go.
So, it's crazy when you look at all this stuff, because it's not hard to believe the Wayfair situation when you see how easily Epstein got away with it in the beginning. Yeah. Because in 2008, when he was arrested, Alexander Acosta, the U.S. South District Attorney at the time, who was later appointed to Donald Trump's Secretary of Labor, and then ended up stepping down when all this stuff came out in 2016, he gave him what was dubbed the sweet plea deal, where instead of being charged for sex trafficking, for rape, for sexual misconduct,
anything
pedophilia,
sexual.
So many different things that should have landed him multiple life sentences. He got 18 months in prison in a Class D misdemeanor for soliciting prostitution.
Yeah.
Which
of minors.
But he was charged with soliciting prostitution, one count, and not of minors, because soliciting prostitution of minors isn't a thing. It's just rape, because you can't consent if you're under the age of 18, which in New York, where Epstein spent a lot of his time, that Class D misdemeanor would have landed him like a $200 fine instead of a 18 months in prison, which it was barely 18 months in prison, because they're worried somebody's going to kill him in prison.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No,
they're worried then.
Literally in the plea deal, Epstein's lawyers said that they were worried that somebody was going to kill him in prison, so they decided not to put him in a maximum security prison. That's why he was kept at the sheriff's department in, I believe, he was kept in like a county jail for what should have been considered a federal crime. And he had access to the attorney room. His cell door was left open. The attorney room had a TV. He was allowed to go on work leave during the day, which it was said it was community service, because he was working for a charity. Do you know who started that charity?
No, I do not know who started that charity.
Jeffrey Epstein started it the day before he was arrested.
Oh, that's a great charity then.
Yeah.
What is it called? The Boys and Girls Club?
Well, there were a lot of young girls employed there, and allegedly he continued his work.
I see.
During that time. And then after he was let off after 18 months, he was supposed to be put under house arrest for another 12 months or something, where he just up and left the country.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I don't know. It makes me sad to think about, because Wayfair doesn't seem...
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't seem too out of the realm of possibilities.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, ever since everything came across with all these exposures coming out with Q, Q's coming out, and I don't know how you feel about Q. I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like he's, or he/she, whatever it is, if it's a group of people, if it's not. But anyway,
You're talking about QAnon, right?
Yes.
QAnon, he's the guy on 4chan who he says that he works in the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about cute, like that guy, the main leader. He might be releasing all this stuff because he might be covering his butt.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
could be a possibility.
I feel like there's a side effect of us living in a time where we have nearly unlimited access to information. We're living. You had the Stone Age, the Iron Age, the Gold Age, Bronze Age. We're in the Information Age. Mm-hmm. We have better access to information than a lot of countries on the planet, and more access to information than any human who lived even 10 years prior to us now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
we have the internet.
With that being said, stuff has probably been happening forever.
Oh yeah, it's
but we just
this
never
is
knew
definitely it's some refer to it as the Great Awakening, which if you align yourself with certain beliefs and stuff, it could be a really
like
bad
that
thing
really
or a
popular that really popular holy book.
Oh yeah, that really popular holy book I was talking about. Yeah, some refer to that's my foot. Yes,
sorry,
he's playing
kicked his
footsie
foot.
with me under. Oh, what we got going on? Well, anyway, we're talking about the Great Awakening. If you like that holy popular book that's around here, you might be like, oh, this is setting up for something like a new world order or something, like all this chaos. Like, what's the quote? What is it? Something out of chaos. I forget what it's called.
Out of chaos comes
peace. Out of chaos or something. I forget the quote, but anyway, there's gonna be like a calming, like out of chaos, and there's gonna be like a leadership rising up and stuff, and like exposing all this stuff, and like,
I just feel like
taking over basically.
I've always been
order out of chaos. That's what it is.
I've always been interested in conspiracy theories. Like from when I was a little kid. Did you ever watch like the UFO shows?
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
yes I did. I watched
that. I watched Finding Bigfoot.
Going on YouTube, looking up UFO spottings and stuff. Oh
Mothman.
Yeah.
I never even heard of
West
Mothman.
Virginia. I've been to West Virginia multiple times, and there's the Mothman, the Flatwoods Monster, all these good things.
When I'm done saying this, I want you to tell some stories about Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, if you have some of your grandpa stories in your back pocket.
I do.
Okay, but I always was interested in that type of stuff when I was little, and it's like, wouldn't it be so cool if there really were aliens at Roswell, New Mexico?
Oh yeah.
It's like, because like I loved Destroy All Humans. I talked about that on the last podcast. I loved conspiracy stuff when I was a kid, and now when you start to get older, it's like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
It's the type of stuff that slowly starts to fade, but
you have little glimpses of hope that pop up sometimes. Evidence comes out, and you're like, what?
I wouldn't say hope, but like, because so many of these things, it's super fishy. Like, it's at the point where people who would normally dismiss everything as a conspiracy theory are saying it's like something ain't adding up here. Like, let's look at Pizzagate, for example. Ooh. Because everyone's referring to the Wayfair situation. It's like, oh, it's Pizzagate number 3.
Yeah.
But like, because Pizzagate, there's a pizza parlor called Comet's Ping Pong in Washington, D.C. Yeah. And people were saying it's like, this is where the sex trafficking ring is. It's like, and then some crazy lunatic went in there. It's like they're running a pedophile sex trafficking ring out of the basement.
Yes.
It didn't have a basement. Some crazy guy with an AR-15 came in, and he's like, I'm going to get Bill Clinton and all those guys. And he tried shooting up the place.
You know how this started, right? Do you know who Seth Rich is?
No, I don't. Well, I kind of want to get off the conspiracy thing, but I just want to say this really quick. He thought that they were running the whole ring out of there, and violence came from the conspiracy. Yeah. Because at that point, people didn't know everything that we really know now about, like Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Prince Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. when you start to actually like look into this stuff, you can't help but feel at least like there's something going on. I believe that there's something going on. I'm just going to be honest with that.
Oh, there's for sure something going on.
There's something going on. Do I claim to know exactly what it is? No, because we're only going to know what they want us to know. Really.
That is exactly it.
Like, I mean, there's a reason why there is a classified list in the CIA files. So,
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about something
New
more fun.
topic.
Tell me about Mothman.
Oh, Mothman. All right. So anyway, if you know the legend of the Mothman, there's a movie out there.
Really?
I don't know. I think, is it called Mothman? I don't know what it's called, but there's a movie
I'll
out
look it
there.
up.
It's a very good movie. I enjoyed it. Anyway, the Mothman story goes, the Mothman shows up when a tragedy is about to happen. And there's this little bridge. I forget what the bridge is called, but I know it's green. I know that much. It's on the border of
Point
West
Pleasant.
Virginia and Ohio. And people started seeing the Mothman and hearing like claims of the Mothman and seeing this flying moth.
It's called The Mothman Prophecies. It came out in 2002.
Yes, as a good movie. Oh, it's a good year too. So,
Haha. 2002.
yes. So the Mothman showed up and people are saying, oh, that we see this big moth or something. And like apparently he's been like stalking people and stuff. And then this bridge collapses from Ohio and West Virginia. It killed a lot of people. I don't know exactly how
I've
many
never
people.
heard about this, actually.
Oh, yeah, this is the story of the Mothman. People saying, like, every time they see a sighting of the Mothman, something bad happens. So, like, the Ohio and West Virginia bridge collapsed and killed a lot of people because they were all on the bridge at the time. And it was, like, I guess it was, like, snowy or something, and, like, traffic was heavy, and it just collapsed, and people just fell and drowned and stuff and died from the fall.
Wow.
But, yeah, that's the Mothman story. But,
I wonder if the Mothman was in Wuhan.
oh, he got eaten alive. Bad things happen when you eat the Mothman as well.
All right.
But now, the Flatwoods Monster. These are both West Virginian monsters, so a little bit of moonshine and methamphetamine might make you see some things here. You know, those mountain people get a little crazy. But the Flatwoods Monster is this big alien-type creature. Its hands are like that or something. Some people say they see it, like, moving on a giant stone. Some people say they just see it, like, floating.
Is that the thing with the big red glowing
Big,
eyes?
yeah, and it's got like a
Oh.
pointed hat
Oh,
like
I
that.
remember watching.
Well, I was with a pointed hat. Well, I mean, like it's an alien. Okay.
It was like a cone shaped head.
Yeah,
is
it was
what
like
they said.
it was like
no, I remember.
Looked like
I
a
s-
Hershey kiss.
I saw something that like completely debunked that.
Oh yeah. So anyway, the story goes. I think it was like maybe early 1900s, maybe somewhere in the 1800s. There was this family, and they were at their house, and they see like a giant like flash, and like they hear a big like boom on the ground. So they go and they check it out, and what they see is this creature just hovering there as the Flatwoods Monster, and
It looks just like an airplane without wings.
so they saw that, and then they said they got oil on them and stuff, and they like ran away because it was like dark.
What?
Like the mom of the family had like oil on her skirt or something, and like they
Didn't-
ran back inside.
Is that the same story where like the group of kids and the teacher go out to like investigate like the next day?
Well, I don't know. I know it was the family that went out first, and they found it, and they just ran away from it. But yeah, these are some scary children. You tell your little children, and then they can't sleep at grandmother's house anymore because she has a ginormous window in the front room where you're sleeping, and it's pitch black out in the field. So you can't sleep because you feel like you're going to see red glowing eyeballs.
You sound like you have a lot of pent up anger about this, Keaton.
No, I don't have anger. It's just
Fear?
I never got to sleep that night. We slept over at my grandmother's house after she told us this and showed pictures of it. We were,
Fear leads to anger.
we were petrified. It's so scary, man.
So, talking about folklore, about like scary creatures in the dark. In Florida, we got the skunk ape.
Oh,
The skunk ape is Florida's version of Bigfoot, and the reason they call it a skunk ape is because it smells like rotten eggs and skunk mixed together. To quote buck from Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. It smelled like a buzzard's butt fell off and got sprayed on by skunks. So,
There you go.
point of the story. There haven't been like any like Bigfoot sightings in a while, like quite a few years. In fact, they fell off the radar after Hurricane Andrew. My dad's theory is that they all died during the hurricane, which, I mean, I guess it's going to happen if you're living out in the Everglades and a Category 5 hurricane comes in. If they didn't get it from Andrew, they probably got it from Irma.
Yes.
So, my dad and mom, both my parents, they would go fishing out in the Everglades every once in a while. This is a true story, by the way. This is their Bigfoot story. So they were out in the swamp. It was 3 a.m. There's this road that leads off the island past Goodland. They were like out there.
Yeah,
they turned right after getting to.
So they were on their way to Miami, basically.
You know Okeechobee?
Yeah.
They're in Okeechobee.
Oh, all right.
So Okeechobee is actually where the Skunk Ape headquarters is. They were about 2 miles. Also, it's
a very cool
home.
place.
It's the home of the world's smallest post office. It's basically an outhouse.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Look it up sometimes. Maybe I'll flash up a picture on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. So they were like 2 miles down the road from there at this fishing creek, right? They pull up at 3 a.m. And something that I never knew about alligators is that they bark.
Oh, yeah, at nighttime.
They bark at nighttime, which for those of you who don't live in Florida or just don't go to the Everglades often, they bark. I had no idea.
Oh, man, the scariest things is if you're going to be in the Everglades. Frogs? Okay, frogs are very scary sounding. They sound like very scary animals. I learned this while I was in Texas, and there was a pond right outside. But other than that, alligators barking is another scary thing. There's a lot of scary creatures out there.
Now, think about that. Think about this.
Yeah.
Imagine what would be scary enough to make all the alligators stop in dead silence.
An 11-foot tall piece of fur moving through the forest that's shredded.
So the point of this... Five, 4, 3, 2.
And we are back from our break.
Yeah. I didn't say we were taking a break because there's a little cut right there because my dad walked in.
Yes.
And where we left off, I was telling the story of the skunk ape. And luckily he was able to fill in the details I didn't remember. So I also was able to go get my book. So our story left off.
Yes.
It was about... huh?
Oh, I was gonna.
You got something to say?
I'm sorry. I was just saying, set the mood for us.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll add some music.
All right.
It was about 2 a.m. Stop. It was about 2 a.m. My parents were just coming back from Miami, and they stopped at a fishing creek in Okeechobee, about 2 or 3 miles up the road from the skunk headquarters in Okeechobee.
Yeah.
And when they got out there, you could hear the frogs going buck wild. You could hear the gators barking, and you could hear crickets chirping, all that stuff.
Natural wildlife.
What you would expect from a swamp, of course. And then, as they're getting out of the car, they're loading out their gear. They hear this loud. Everything goes dead quiet. Not just the gators. The gators stop barking. The frogs stop ribbiting. And the crickets stop chirping. Everything is dead silent for multiple seconds, like at least 10 plus.
Yeah.
And my dad is like, that is eerie. What the hell was that? He has holstered on his side his .44 Magnum, and he thinks, this is not worth it. Whatever could have made that sound, I don't want to meet. So they leave, they go back to Marco, and he had no idea what it was. So, like I said, when I was younger, I started getting interested in all this stuff.
Yeah. So
So about 8 years later or so, I'm like a little kid at this point.
little squirt.
Yeah. This probably happened around 2000, so I was probably like 6 or so. And I start getting interested in the skunk ape, and then my dad starts looking up all this stuff about it, and he realized one of the ways that they communicate, where they apparently it's like a warning, something's coming, like there's a person coming. How they communicate to each other is by knocking on wood.
That's an effective communication. Just letting them know that you're there.
Yeah. So it's a warning, like saying, it's like, yo, get out of my swamp.
Yeah.
Like, what
Be
are
gone.
you doing in my swamp? So that's one of the ways that they communicate, by knocking on the wood like that. And then immediately my dad's like, holy moly cannoli, I think that's what it was. So then he looks up on the official Skunk Ape website about sightings around that time.
Yeah.
The day before they were there, was a sighting where a tour bus, an entire tour bus of like 20 people, saw the skunk ape, or so it would seem, run across the road in that area, like about like half a mile down the road. So there's 20 people who could corroborate that it was there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. My dad heard the skunk ape that night. So did my mom. So,
That's terrifying.
yeah, I know, right?
That's just like, I don't want to live in Florida anymore.
Well, like I said before, there's been very, very few sightings, and let alone there's been no droppings, no scat, no footprints taken in years. So,
Extinct.
David Shealy, who is the world's foremost authority on the skunk ape, he believes that they went farther north, whereas I think after Hurricane Andrew, they all died.
Yeah.
But I have right here, I'll show a picture of that a little bit closer later, but it's a book written by David Shealy, which he was actually there when we went to the Skunk Ape headquarters, and it's signed by him. Ryan, thanks for your interest on... I can't read. Oh, thanks for your interest and support. So I got a hat and all that, and we also got a bumper sticker that's still on the truck now that says, Ask me about the skunk ape. Yeah. So, conspiracies. Another thing, it's like, I don't believe in something unless I have some good evidence, some good proof.
Yeah.
Good evidence, good proof for the existence of Bigfoot.
Well, sometimes you have to believe in things without seeing them.
Yes.
Polar
Faith.
Express, my man. Except for Santa's not real. So.
We have viewer discretion on this, so
Yeah.
we already have a trigger warning, so there should be no kids watching at this point.
Yeah.
So, all you listening out there, Santa Claus doesn't exist. He only exists if you believe hard enough.
Big fat man comes into your house. Shoot him. Stand your ground.
Actually, wasn't Stand Your Ground repealed in Florida?
Shoot him in the leg.
So
Just don't kill him.
Here's something weird that I learned about gun laws this past week.
Yes.
So Florida
Are we getting political?
No, this isn't political at all.
Okay.
Florida is not an open carry state. It is a concealed carry state. Which means, for anyone who doesn't know the terminology, meaning that you cannot have a gun holstered on your person, visible for people to see.
When I went to Texas and I went to a gas station, 95% of the people had a pistol on their hip.
Big iron.
They had a big iron on their hip.
I remember.
But here you have to conceal it, so you have to hide it.
I was at Rome, Georgia, like 2 years ago, when I went on a road trip to go to Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, and I stopped in this like bar. It was good food. They had dollars stapled to the wall and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's when you know.
That's when you know it's a good place if they got money stapled to the wall because they can afford it. No, so and then I'm looking around. There's this guy in like a 10-gallon Doug Dimmadome style hat, and everyone at the tables got like a revolver, like a 44. They're staying strapped, and I'm like, I love this country.
Yeah, it's great.
But back onto the fact, Florida is concealed carry only.
Mm-hmm.
Keaton, did you know that if you have a concealed carry permit and you take out your gun in public, you can be fined or arrested if you do not fire it?
Really?
Yes. So if the only reason you are allowed to take your weapon out in public is to use it, you legally have to use it. Like if you take...
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Right, so...
Because you don't want some guy, like, flashing it around,
Right, it's to protect against people just using it to scare people.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, for example...
Or robbing people.
Keaton, you own a convenience store, right?
Yeah.
You own a convenience store, and I come in, we're good friends, we talk every once in a while.
How you doing?
Hey Keaton, it's been a while.
Hey Bob.
Just like let me get a some Takis.
You want Takis? Some Snickers?
Give me some taquitos.
Oh, here's some taquitos.
All right.
Takis.
Hey, Dave. I just got my concealed carry permit.
Oh, did you now?
I did. You want to see my gun?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, look at this! And then I
that's
pull
a
out
nice
my gun.
sucker.
And then I pull out my gun. And then someone else walks in. Maybe the manager comes out from the back.
Yeah.
So what in the Sam hell's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
He presses the little button underneath.
Wait, did you
calls the
say I
police.
own the convenience store? I'm an employee at the convenience store.
For sake of argument, you don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm just an employee.
So you pull out a gun in public, it's going to scare people.
Yeah, you're going to be
you're
like...
going to get the cops called on
you're either going to get shot by someone else,
right,
or the cops are going to come.
So it makes sense.
Or you're at a gun club. One of the...
It makes sense as to why the law is in place.
Yeah.
However, take this, for example. You are robbing me. You have a knife.
Yes.
I don't want to be robbed. I quite like my possessions, and I would like to keep them. So, I am willing to use my weapon as a deterrent in order to keep you from stealing my wallet.
Yeah.
Right? So, any sane person, when someone pulls out a gun and points it at you,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, okay, maybe I don't need this dude's wallet.
Yeah.
So it's a deterrent, and then it's like, never mind, man, I'm leaving. So...
You say, no, you're not, stop right there, so he doesn't try to go hurt anybody else,
But...
and you do a citizen's arrest.
Well, you'd think. But, like I said, the law is you have to use it.
Shoot him in the big toe.
You and not as a warning shot either. You have to shoot with intent to hit the person.
And the
Anytime
kneecap.
you take out a weapon in public, you have to be shooting with intent to protect yourself.
All right. But I would imagine on, like, firing ranges and stuff, this is different.
Oh, well, yeah, on firing
Because,
ranges.
like, I would assume in, like, an area,
that's on
a
private
reserved
property.
area.
That's in private property. I'm talking about on public or government-owned property.
Well, there's a shooting range up in like Fort Myers or something. It's an outdoor range. It's a park.
It's a private property, though.
It's the government though. It's the government's property because it's a park.
It's their property. It's a shooting range.
But also, if you go like hunting in the woods and stuff,
right,
that's on like
right. It's different. But I'm saying if like you walk up to someone on the street,
yeah,
and and you try to rob them.
So is this only in Florida?
it's probably in other states.
Yeah.
But so thinking about that, it's like, oh, Florida should be open carry, but no, because there's a couple. I have my reservations against open carry.
I like the element of surprise in most, honestly.
Yeah, actually, because
Like,
so think
if
about
someone knows that you have a gun, they're gonna, they can try to reach for it and get it from you.
True. That's one reason
Yeah.
why open carry is a bad idea.
B, they would just kill you right off the bat and take your items.
True.
Or, like, if it was concealed, they would be like, oh, let me go rob this poor sucker over here. And then it'd be like, boom, no. Reverse Uno card.
Well, reverse Uno card. No, but so this is the way I see it, and this is the way a lot of people argue against it. You will be seeing guns in public much more often if people had open carry. And then when you see a gun in public, it's not going to be like, oh shoot, this person's trying to kill somebody.
So you're saying, like, don't build up a tolerance to seeing it.
Yeah, you'll be desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And being desensitized to it, like it's similar to the whole argument about why kids shouldn't play violent video games because they'll end up violent. Yeah. Which there's a lot of evidence against that, but it's the same.
Remember,
same train
no
of
Russian.
It's the same train of thought. So if you see guns more often in public, you're going to be desensitized to it, and therefore not be scared when someone pulls out a gun. Yeah. Because
I mean that could be a good thing as well, because if you're used to it and someone pulls out a gun, then you're going to be calm. You're going to be
keep a level head.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
like,
your mind's not going to. If you see someone pull out a gun, you're not going to. If maybe it's like in an open carry state, if you see someone pull out a gun, it's like, oh, he's just showing Billy his gun. It's like maybe it's not going to register immediately. Oh, well, he's trying to get into the register.
In most open carry states, if you're pointing your gun, this is just common, like, gun courtesy. You never, ever point a gun at another human.
Right, unless you have intent to kill.
Unless you, like, have no other option. So, therefore, if you're in an open carry state, which most of those states are all very pro-gun, the chances of you robbing someone is going to end up with you either in the hospital or you in the ground.
Right.
Because there's going to be other people around.
Now, I think it's a good idea for people to have guns. I think it's a great idea for people to have guns to protect themselves and to protect other people. But part of the whole thing about gun safety and, like, gun control is they want to prevent gun-related deaths. So why would you have a law that makes it so if someone pulls out a gun, someone has to die or have a life-altering injury?
Yeah.
I think
that's kind of stupid.
So my proposition is you need to change the Florida law to make it so that you can legally take out your gun as a deterrent or fire a warning shot. It's like, that gun ain't loaded. So, oh, never mind. It's like
what?
What is the thought process there of saying you have to shoot a person if you take out your gun?
I have no. I mean, I guess it's just trying to, like, keep people, like, hiding their guns. Maybe they had, like, huge accidents.
Probably.
But,
I mean,
it feels really dumb.
There's a reason behind everything. Like, there's a reason why the Electoral College exists, because back in the 1700s, people couldn't get information as quickly as we could. Because if I wanted to. If I was calling you to say, hey, we're doing a podcast, number one, we wouldn't be able to upload the podcast anywhere because the World Wide Web didn't exist. Yeah. But also, number two, I'd have to physically go to your house, and no, I can't go 35 miles an hour down San Marco. I would have to get on a horse or walk.
Yeah.
So, trying to get information from New York to Washington, from Washington down to Atlanta, it's going to take a couple weeks.
Listen, war pigeons weren't that big either by then.
Well, like, so Electoral College back then makes sense because there's this thing called unfaithful electors in the Electoral College. It's really hard to explain, but 23 states do not have laws excuse me, 23 U.S. states do not have laws preventing the electors from being an unfaithful elector, meaning, let's say you and I are running for president. I'm running for Party A, you're running for Party B.
Yeah.
Our electors, our state, let's say Wyoming, Wyoming chooses
That's quite
by
the
a
state.
popular vote that they want you to be the next U.S. president. And then the electors decide, you know what? I kind of like Ryan more. So then they vote for me, even though the representatives and the people decided they wanted you. The electors like, nah, 23 states have no laws against that. So that's one of the biggest issues with that. But back in the day, that makes sense because let's say it's 1789.
Yeah.
We're trying to pick between Thomas Jefferson and John Adams.
Yeah. New country.
Yeah,
Trying to figure it out.
So, Thomas Jefferson had affairs. I don't think everybody knew that at the time, but he did some fun stuff when he was over in France.
Every president has something, all right?
But especially Thomas
Nobody's
Jefferson.
perfect.
Especially Thomas Jefferson. He was a
Or
wild
Bill
man.
Clinton.
No, but like I'm talking about for like that time, Thomas Jefferson was a wild
Oh, yeah.
man.
He partied.
So us living down in, we'll say, Georgia, with the election happening in New York, have no idea about this. So our electors are like, we tell them it's like, we want Jefferson. And it's like, because John Adams is a fat idiot. It's like, okay. So our electors, they make their way to D.C., and D.C. is where everything happens.
Yeah,
it's the room where it happens, to quote Hamilton. And our elector gets to D.C., and they're like, yo, did you hear that Thomas Jefferson has been sleeping around over in France all during the Revolution? He just wrote the Declaration and just was like, see, I'm going to France. And then he's like, I don't want to vote for this guy. So that's why unfaithful electors exist, because we don't know what Thomas Jefferson did. Yeah. They can assume it's like, yeah, they wouldn't want to vote for him. So then John Adams wins. So unfaithful electors used to be a good thing. Not anymore. How did we get on that subject?
We went from laws. We went political.
Well, I wouldn't say that's political. I mean, that's why I used the example from 1789 because political party A and political party B.
I wonder what two parties are mainstream.
I could talk about the two-party system.
Yeah, well,
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We started off with the skunk ape. We carried on to guns, and then we carried on to voting.
Well, we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein and Wayfair before, so I feel like this is better.
I mean, is it an upgrade though?
I don't know.
Well, what else you got, Ryan?
Press triangle.
Oh, press triangle. Oh my.
You want to talk about GTA or our
we have a friend.
Stylings? Well, we'll mention him by name. Keon.
Keon.
So we've been playing a lot of GTA. You're the master of all this, so you can go ahead and explain a little bit. I'll interject.
So we've been playing GTA. You know, the boys got to be boys and play video games together.
Boys will be boys.
So we get the boys together and we're playing GTA and we're doing a heist, which a heist in the game is like a very quick way how to make money, and you get to do missions with your friends and stuff.
Pretty cool.
So we're about to finish this heist, and our friend Keon is flying the airplane. This is like 2 a.m. last night.
It was 2:40.
Yeah. And then our other friend Chris was like, ha ha ha, press triangle. Now, triangle is how you jump out of the plane. It's how you exit a vehicle.
In most games by Rockstar, be it Red Dead Redemption or GTA, that's how you exit the vehicle, get off your horse, whatever.
Yeah. So he does the great decision of listening to Chris, and he's like, okay, 2:40 in the morning. He clicks triangle, and he's like, Chris, why would you tell me to do this? And we're all just sitting there. We're flying around. We're like, yay! We don't see it because it takes a little bit of time to see that he jumped out.
No. I'm in the turret.
Yeah, I'm in the turret too, so I didn't notice.
I'm like, Keon, what are you doing? Because I start seeing the sky and then the ground and then the sky and the ground again and then
I look at the mini map and I see his little blip on the mini map just go flying way behind us, and I'm like, wait a minute, he should be flying the plane. It was like, why? Where'd you go? He pressed triangle and ruined the whole entire heist for us that night.
We were at best a minute away from finishing that.
No, like 30 seconds. Yeah. We were so close, and like it just ended. It was so sad.
There's so many goofs and gaffes on PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh man, it gets wild. It gets very wild.
What was it? Thank you, Avi Schwartzman.
Thank you, Avi Schwartzman.
Yeah. It's a character in one of the heists where the guy in charge of the heist, as he's talking at the end of this one, that for 3 days we could not finish because we're all a bunch of bozos playing on hard mode. Well, Keon, Chris, and I are a bunch of bozos.
They've never done this heist before. It's called the Pacific Standard heist. You got to rob a huge bank.
Anyone who has played GTA Online
knows about the Pacific Standard heist. So, yeah, it went bad.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing a lot of The Forest.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about The Forest on the last podcast?
I don't think we did. We talked a lot about Minecraft.
We did talk about Minecraft. Mm-hmm. How do we not? I think we did mention The Forest.
We might have, but for those of you who don't know, The Forest, did it come out on what, PS3?
No, it came out. No, it came out on PC. It started off as a PC game and then went to the PS4.
Mm. Well, it's a PSN game now, and basically you're in this plane crash, and because Keon pressed triangle. And then there's a story. Story's optional. It's a survival game. Yeah. You have to find your son and all.
It's like Minecraft.
It's like Minecraft, but there's like cannibals and stuff. It's tons of fun. And you just chop down trees and you build defenses to protect against yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's when you're in a place where not a lot of cannibals spawn.
It's pretty good. It's peaceful.
It's calming.
Yeah.
It's calming.
It's very soothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good. Well, I think video games are just a good therapy.
Oh yeah,
tool in general.
Therapy.
Because you get the bonds that you create through playing video games are actually very tight. Like you get a lot of friends and stuff from playing video games.
See, this is why I hate video games. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Like people are like, "Oh, you're not spending time with like the person in real life," but in reality, you're bonding more because you all have an objective goal that you all have to do.
Yeah, it's kind of think about it like this. For anyone who's not a gamer like we are.
Yeah, epic gamers.
So think about when like a company, they decide it's like, oh, we're going to do like an escape room together or it's for like company bonding.
The company picnic.
Yeah, you all have to work together to obtain a common goal. Mm-hmm. It's more strategy. So it's like, I remember back before I got my PlayStation, like one night you called me, it's like, get on PlayStation. I'm like, what? Yeah. I have a PS2, bro. It's like the newest gaming console I have is a Nintendo Wii at my grandparents' house. And other than that, Cassie's got a Nintendo DSi, so if you want to freaking play yummy cooking jam, I got you. But like if you wanna play some Wii Sports, I got 3 remotes. Mm-hmm. No, but like I think when we first started playing together, that's like when the bond formed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think we mentioned that on the last podcast, but it's important. So
you definitely get very close to people that you game with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of people put it down as like gaming is just like a little hobby and stuff. I mean, it is a hobby, but it's also it's a great way how to make friendships work.
I feel like it helps with my communication skills too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you can't see the person face to face.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that your tone is correct. You have to like focus, you know.
Yeah, because like if you like mess up on PlayStation and like you're in a party of like 30 people and you like
30 people. I thought the max is 16.
Call of Duty lobbies multiplayer. Oh yeah,
I hate in-game
if
chat.
you like stutter every in-game chat used to be the only thing that you could have. It was bad. Like on PS3, it was toxic. It was really bad. It was pretty funny though.
That's one of the issues with gaming culture, if you want to call it that, is the toxic people and stuff like that. But when you have like people who you're actually friends with IRL or people that you met online that you formed a bond with, I think video games, or not video games, but PlayStation Party, kept me sane during Corona time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can't go to work, can't it's like can't go to school.
Yeah,
it's like my favorite parts of the day would be either going to Mr. Dayette's Zoom classes or hopping on GTA or Battlefront 2 or The Forest with the boys. And like Keon, I think our friendship grew during quarantine.
Oh
with
yeah,
a lot of people I kind of fell off with. Like there are people that I see on Instagram and I'm like, I forgot that person existed.
Yeah, like you, like it helps maintain friendships and grow friendships.
Yeah, no, and
it de-stresses you.
Oh yeah,
It's very good for that.
I kind of want to hop on talking about quarantine for a minute here. Did you leave the house much?
Yes, a lot. Well, let's see. When did quarantine start? It started before I went to Texas. Okay, so I couldn't see my girlfriend at the time.
Because she was quarantined.
Yeah,
right?
she was quarantined. So I was very sad and stuff. But this is kind of funny. I dropped off my PlayStation at her house, and I used my brother's PlayStation. So we all played with each other.
See, it's
full circle, man. Full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
But that's not the point.
We remade our school in creative mode.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So during quarantine and stuff, like that's like all I did was just PlayStation. But yeah, I left the house when like I tried to leave as much as possible because I wanted to like go out and stuff because I hated being restricted. You know, you can only be like a couch potato for so long before you're like, you gotta go do stuff. So yeah, I went out. I definitely went to a lot of like fast food places.
Did you stay safe though?
At the beginning, I did. I like used a lot of hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
but now,
less. I feel like it's weird because it was the only thing in the news.
Yeah.
So you're constantly.
Here's the thing, though. When I went to Texas, I had no cable, no internet. Everybody there was so friendly. Nobody, like, there was procedures and stuff, but, like, everything was open. You could go anywhere you want. And it was great. Like, nobody really cared that much and stuff, but, like, people cared at the same time. Like, some people would wear masks and stuff, but people would just naturally, like, stay out of other people's way and stuff. So it was pretty nice. Because, like, if you don't see all the crap happening, you're living your life. Like, it was really normal in Texas for those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Must have been nice.
Oh, yeah.
Now, for me, my dad was really lenient in the beginning. Because he was just like, just try to wear a mask when you go out and all that. I was still going to work every day.
Yeah.
And then I think after my cousin got it, he started to get more worried. And then the first case in Collier County.
That was like a big
and
deal.
Then the next
Everyone was
day,
like
3 cases. Next day, 11. It's like, oh, crap. And then my dad's like, all right, it was March 20th. No more leaving the house. I'm like, Now, it was more like no more going anywhere. So we could like leave the house and stuff. And my sister's boyfriend, Cassie and Alex would kind of be, or more so Alex would be living between his house and my house, and he would like stay over every other night or something like that. It would be like 2 days here, 2 days there, stuff like that. So we were allowed to leave the house and stuff, but like Cassie's restaurant got shut down, so she was here all hours of the day. Marco Off Supply still stayed open because we're classified as an essential business.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to go to work. And now I could have like gone out, picked up food and stuff. But there was one thing stopping me. At the beginning of spring break, or actually at the end of spring break, the Collier County Fair was in town. This was actually the day that we got the email that school was being canceled. This was a Friday.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh, you guys got an extended spring break. Yeah, look where that got us.
We're still on spring break. It is July 11th, and we're still on spring break.
Wow. But summer's like halfway over.
Summer kind of flew, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah. This doesn't even feel like summer yet for me because
no, it still feels like
spring break.
Spring break.
No, I'm just no longer in school.
I know.
Every once in a while,
astonishing.
Every once in a while, I just talk to Mr. Dayette. It's just to make things seem normal. But no, but back to my previous point. We're at the Collier County Fair, and I realized when I was driving home, I saw a cop on the road. I was going kind of fast, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, just in case, I'm going to see where my driver's license is. Mikey, can you check the glove compartment for me? Oh, yeah. There's a registration in here, hairbrush, some tampons. I'm like, that's not going to help me. Close that. Center console, check there. My license was gone. So I'm like, oh, I probably left it at home. It's probably in my wallet or something. I cleaned my room at the beginning of quarantine for the sole purpose of trying to find my driver's license. It was gone. I could not find it. So when we had the mandatory stay-at-home order, there was rumors and stuff that police were going to be pulling you over and asking you where you're going.
Yeah.
If I got pulled over, I would lose my license because I'm driving without a license. I'd get a hefty fine.
Yeah.
So I didn't go out because I couldn't. Because I was so scared of getting pulled over for no reason.
Well,
that the day the DMV opened back up, I drive down. It was May 4th. So from August, not August.
Not August?
No, from March 20th all the way to May 4th, I didn't touch my steering wheel. It was crazy. I think that's why I love driving so much now.
Yeah.
Like, so now that I'm 18, I don't have a curfew on my license. Also, my license photo was taken a week before I started my diet. My new license photo was taken about the time I had lost 85 pounds. So you got bloated boy versus bearded boy. You had nice peach fuzz on your face. Sarcasm.
Ooh.
No, but so I was very excited about that. I drove everywhere after that. And now I can drive out to like 2 a.m. and I don't really have much of a curfew anymore because really my mom was the one worried about curfew because she had to get to bed earlier because her illness, and she was in pain a lot, so she didn't want us coming home too late because my mom had one very important rule. Very important. You could never break this. No matter how late it is, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what happens, no matter if she's awake, no matter if she's asleep, always come in and say goodnight, no matter what.
Yeah.
So she'd liked us to be home earlier. But now, my dad doesn't have that role.
Yeah.
So, he's just like, how late you going to be out till? And I'm like, oh, I'll probably be making my way home around 1. It's like, okay. It's like, just wear your mask if you go out in public. Do the sanitizer. I'm like, okay. It's like, spray down the truck with bleach if there's anybody in it. It's like, okay. So, yeah. I'll just drive around late at night, especially if I'm in the Prius. Because, so I have I have 4 cars in my driveway, but I have 2 cars that we can actually drive. I have a Ford F-150 V8 engine Lariat gas guzzler.
For sure.
And then
Transfer that sucker to diesel.
and then we've got
$60 a tank.
and then we've got the Prius, 50 miles to the gallon. On a good day, mostly like 42, but yeah.
So you siphon your gas from your Prius into the truck.
That doesn't change anything.
Well, if you're saving gas in the Prius, you know, you want to drive the truck, just siphon. Okay, whatever. I'll stop talking.
I mean, like, do you know how gas works, Keith?
Yes.
So, the Prius, gets better gas mileage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
Which means I use it
I know.
much slower.
I know.
It goes quicker.
And
it's not like
yeah.
gas costs less for the Prius.
I know.
It costs the same amount.
But over time.
But, yeah, but...
Okay. Let's just cut that out.
Not cutting it out, it's gold.
It's not gold. All right. Continuing on. Quarantine.
I'm done.
I'm done too.
Oh, okay.
I think. Where are we chilling at? We're chilling at 38.
Yeah, we're 38. We still got time.
Yeah, we do. We got we said 10 more minutes.
Would you say you missed school?
Yes and no. Well,
explain.
Yes, actually, yes. I miss school because it gets you on a better schedule. Also, you don't get the satisfaction of leaving school and the next day you don't have to wake up early. That is what starts summer break.
Yes.
Now,
I was just thinking about that.
Not going to school, you oh man, I was up to 4 every night, you know. My classes, you could, I mean, I'm not saying I did it, but you can just put yourself in the call and just not be there and
Let's
do other
just
things.
say that some people spent an entire 2 weeks working on one of their final projects for a class that both Keaton and I were in. We partnered up and we did ours in 10 minutes flat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Things got easier.
Things did get very easier. You were able to cheat the system more and get through everything. I did a final in one night. It was great. I had to write I think it was 5,000 words for this whole final. I did it in one night. Got a A on that sucker. So yeah, I'd say school got very easy. Now that's a good and bad thing. School got easy for me. I was able to pass all my classes. But the satisfaction, we didn't get prom this year. What else did we not get? Well, I guess just prom. But anyway, didn't get the no graduation.
Spring trips were canceled. People didn't get to go to Spain. We have a spring trip every year. I didn't get to go to the States Festival.
Yeah.
So I won at districts for thespians acting in December. And in March, the week after spring break, we were supposed to go up to Tampa for the state festival. Yeah. And it was canceled. So, yeah, prom, that.
The satisfaction of leaving school on the last day.
I was just thinking, if it wasn't for graduation, I would have such, such strong reservations about leaving.
Yeah.
It's weird because it feels like, but at this point, I'm working every weekday.
Yeah.
So
You're on a schedule.
I'm on a schedule. I'm on a pretty good schedule too.
Yeah.
At that, where I have time to sleep in if I need to, but I like getting up early now, except on the weekends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I feel like I'm ready for real life. But back during quarantine when we weren't allowed to go anywhere, I felt like I missed like a developmental stage there because it's different for you because you're a junior. But
I understand that though, because I feel like I still don't feel normal yet. Like I think this is a change in like everyone's life. Like no matter who you are, this is like most likely this has never happened to you.
Oh yeah,
so this is like something that's like new. I don't know about anybody else, but I hate change normally. So the fact that like everything like changed so quickly, it was just like, ugh, it was bad.
Yeah, what I think is so strange is, for me, there's been a lot of stuff happening in my family, and some stuff that you could probably assume from context clues from where I used past tense and stuff like that. So since December, things were really weird. So I kind of, there was such a big change in my life, and it felt different because not everyone goes through it. And then like, looking back at Irma, that was something that everyone in our area had to deal with, but people in Colorado were unaffected.
And the fact is, during that time too, everyone was working together that time. It was absolutely beautiful what happened. Like everyone was helping each other out. You know, there's people, there was social life.
Those 2 weeks after the hurricane
were amazing.
I have never trusted humanity more than that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like our lives kind of like as Floridians and like people living on Marco, you have two stages of your life. There's before Irma and then there's after Irma. And now for like everyone else, for like the entire world, there's going to be this whole before, during, and after Corona. Yeah. Like once we get a vaccine and however long that takes, if the vaccine works and there's not some sort of nefarious thing or whatever, because who knows? I mean,
Bill Gates.
RFID chips. We're not getting on that. I don't want to talk about that because Corona is such a touchy subject. But I don't know, just the way that it affected everybody.
Yeah, it was weird. But you know what I've found? What has worked? Well, which you know you would know that would obviously work. And this time, it's crucial for me. I believe in God. I'm a Christian. And at this time, I've been able to get closer to God. And like, if you hold tight to Him right now, like you can like, it's much easier to get through like all of this right now.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I feel kind of bad because like I've been on kind of like a roller coaster with my faith during this because it's not like it ever went away because
it's I'm testing.
I'm lucky in the realm of faith because I have something that, to me at least, can give me definitive proof. Now, people could argue against it, but for me, I have an unyielding faith, or unwavering faith, I guess you could say, in that holy book that's really popular right now. Yeah. And there's, unless there was some sort of definitive proof that God doesn't exist, there's nothing that could stop me from believing at this point. Yeah. Because I feel like I have definitive proof, at least for me and for my family, because I witnessed a miracle. And not everyone gets that chance. So I that's why I don't like trying to push it on people. But it's more of I'm on a roller coaster with my relationship. That is.
I completely agree.
Because I went on this church camp trip. I was going to call it a mission trip, but this year it wasn't really like a mission trip. To Palm City. Wait, no, Panama City, Panama City, up in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
We had this pastor who he said, isolation plus anything equals danger.
Oh yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
And this was before anyone was having some soup at a wet market.
Yeah.
But and it's a joke. So
Yeah, it
it's
is
like,
a joke.
But before patient zero happened, before anybody was raising blowing any whistles on this whole situation.
Well, I mean, isolation is like the biggest tool that the devil can use against you.
Yeah. I feel like if you isolate yourself from people for too long, it's proven that through multiple different experiments.
Crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm trying to find the words on how to put this, because like I feel like some of my relationships with some of my friends kind of went downhill because of self-isolation. There was some company that said stand together but not too close. or it's like we're in this together but not too close, or like but 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, PlayStation's great.
Yeah.
For keeping your sanity, and Zoom and FaceTime can only get so far.
Yeah.
Love languages. Love languages.
For sure.
What's your love language? Do you know?
Acts of service.
Acts of service. I feel like I'm words of affirmation and probably physical touch.
Yeah.
The physical touch, like
I know what you're saying.
I'm a hugger.
I know.
If any of you church camp friends are out there, anyone from student life or from,
he will pick up all the chairs for you.
No, but I don't know if you know this. Maybe you saw in my vlogs. But what I would do every year
Free hugs.
is I made a sign that said free hugs, and I would go around before the worship services started at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day, I'd walk around with the free hug sign. I don't think I can do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's scary. I like another thing. My mom, I think she also had physical touch because she loved giving hugs. And every time I would hug my mom, she would always say, it's like, Ryan, you give the best hugs. And now Cassie and my dad are both kind of more reserved and stuff. So, I mean, we hug and stuff, but like not as often. So during quarantine, I'm like, man, I haven't like,
what can a brother do to get a hug?
I haven't touched another human being in months. It's like, like in a, totally normal way. Like I haven't given anyone like a pat on the back or anything like that. So
Not some.
yeah, no, but like, there was like a couple weeks there where I'm just like, man, I could just use a hug right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I appreciate being around people a lot more now. Would you say that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say that. Like, it's definitely you recognize how much that you need to be like around people because it helps so much. So it's like getting something taken away from you, and after that you realize you give so much more to it because you're like you find the value of it.
What it was,
because people take a lot of things for granted and stuff.
That song, Let Her Go. Only know you love her when you let her go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get copyright striked if I sing the rest of it because I'm so good.
So good, yeah. But yeah, you definitely find the value of things. Ooh.
Not just things, but like the value of people.
Yeah.
And like,
well, in this scenario, the value of people.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Well,
Wow.
I think that was good.
Yeah, that
I
was
enjoyed that.
deep.
That was therapeutic almost. Like I feel like a lot of that's been sitting on my chest for a while. That if you guys have your own stories about how isolation changed you, or like what you learned, or anything like that, go ahead and let us know in the comments. Or if you're on Spotify, I don't know.
We have our Instagram.
Yeah, we have our Instagram.
DM us. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
If you don't want to put in the comments too, you can also DM us.
You know what? I feel like we're kind of wrapping up here.
Yeah.
So we want to see if we can try and get more viewers on this thing.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
go ahead, share this with your friends and stuff. Maybe on the next episode we'll answer some questions.
Yeah,
or
a
something.
Q&A segment.
It's like or give us topics to talk about, because we entered this thing in a very impromptu fashion. We knew going in we were going to talk about Corona time.
Oh yeah.
And we also wanted to kind of talk about the Wayfair situation. No idea we were going to talk about Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
But
one thing leads to another. We just keep going.
yeah. So if you just have like a topic that you want us to pick each other's brains about, go ahead, let us know, because we love hearing from people and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to say?
No, for sure. That's it.
Yeah. I feel like I talked a lot on this episode.
That's fine.
I hope you guys enjoy my voice.
Yeah.
Because I think both Keaton and I have some good radio voices.
Yeah, I would agree. You do have a good radio voice.
Well, we're coming up on almost an hour here for part 2, so that leaves us at about hour 45. So I feel like it's good enough time to end.
Yes. Shall we?
Oh,
we gotta
put
cap the jar.
Cap the jar.
Yep,
wait, let's move it a little bit closer to your mic.
We made
it.
Nice.
Put your hand.
Ready? Go. Screw that sucker on. All right. The jar has been closed.
Sealed.
Yeah.
Been sealed.
Yeah, sealed. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, send that code off to all your friends. Let us know that we're here.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Yeah, and if you're on Spotify, just go over to YouTube and give us a subscribe. You don't have to watch the video. You just give us more subscribers, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for listening. I've been Ryan.
I've been Keaton.
Well, I still am, but
oh yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to The Jar.